All right, we're going to talk about over-the-head spin technique, specifically on the left hand to start off with. It's probably the best place to start with learning to maneuver the rifle above your head. So, first and foremost, who should be trying this trick? If you have a good, firm comfort level with all sorts of movements around your body, you have a very firm command and control of continuous spins, especially on your left hand, then you are probably in a good position to start working into this movement. This is typically a little bit more advanced, but if you take it slow, it can be very safe, and it can be a very easy transition to move the rifle from in front of you to above you. Some safety notes. When we're attempting these spins, you have to follow these instructions very carefully because the technique is half of the safety mechanism. The other thing that we have to keep in mind is that as we're spinning the rifle over our head, we're in fact drawing a circle with the barrel and the butt plate around our body. So that means if you start too fast and you lose control and you decide what you're going to do is you're going to move out of the way of the rifle. Keep in mind that the butt plate of the rifle or the barrel of the rifle is coming down in a circle, and if you move into its direct path, that's not a very good choice. So take it very slow to start off with, very slow. I can't stress that enough. First, let's talk about the proper prep for the over-the-head spin. A lot of times when we're spinning in front of us, a lot of people just take that and they put it above their head and they hope for the best, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So we have to make some adjustments. As opposed to starting the rifle from this balance point, we're actually going to start it closer to the center of balance because now we're no longer fighting gravity in the same way. Secondly, in addition to adjusting our balance point, we're going to place the rifle just next to the ear, pointed straight forward with a curvature of our arm that's very comfortable. So as you can see, I'm not holding it above my head, I'm not extending my arm, it's comfortably by my ear, pointed directly forward, and most importantly, it's completely flat to the drill deck. If you start here, your spin will wind up here. If you start here, your spin will wind up behind you, and neither of those things you want. So we adjust our balance point, we have a flat start to the deck, and we have a comfortable curve of our arm. Now, the next thing we're going to do is, without releasing, push forward and try to draw a semicircle with our hand, with our pushing arm, in the direction of motion of the rifle. So it looks like so. Push over. As I do that, you'll notice that my elbow comes in front and my hand goes up, raising the level of the rifle. Now, you want a push that carries the rifle in a perfect parallel path to the drill deck. In other words, we don't want to push down, and we certainly don't want to push up. We want to push straight across. Now, you'll also notice that when I do that, I'm holding onto the rifle as long as I can with my pushing hand. I'm not pushing here and letting go. I am following through all the way until I can no longer hold on to it. So that's the initial stage. You gotta get really comfortable with a good, even push that lasts the whole rotation of the rifle, and that you get really smooth at raising the level of the rifle up slightly so it covers a little bit of ground before going right above your head. So next, the technique that we use with the hand that's spinning the rifle is super important. Our goal is to have a 90-degree bend in our arm, and for us to place that directly in front of our shoulder or slightly outboard. We don't want to extend above a 90, so we don't want anything like this, and we certainly don't want anything lower. So the temptation when you're first learning is to put it as far away from your head as possible, but this is actually a little bit counterintuitive because you have no control of the rifle when it's all the way up here. You have no give, you have no way to maneuver the rifle if, in fact, you need to. So what we want to do, we want to push until the release. At the very end, keeping our thumb on the handguard, we want to let go and allow the rifle to rotate once before coming back into the hand. When we do this, there's a slight up and down motion, very slight, maybe 2 inches at the most, that's going to hop the rifle and then cause it to come back down. What our angle does is it allows us to have a good amount of control in how far up or down we need to go to make the adjustment for the spin. If we start up here, we have nowhere to go up, we have only room down here. If we start too low, obviously we're too close to our head. So, again, we push, straight, and raise, letting go slightly, coming up with the elbow and coming back down. The goal when we're starting to go slow and do multiple spins now is to keep the hand on the rifle as long as possible. So if we were really comfortable with pushing, letting go, knowing that our arm is right here, 90-degree angle, slightly outboard from the shoulder or in line with the shoulder, and it's not out here, up here, in front, anything crazy, then we can kind of move on to adding a spin. How do we do that? We want to under-rotate the rifle such that we must reach all the way back, grab, and turn like a doorknob that you want to hold on to for as long as possible before completing the second spin. So, grab, push, hold on, push. My thumb is what I'm leading with. And you notice I'm going very, very slowly. That's very important because I want to establish a good technique with my left arm before I inject any sort of speed. So, push with follow through. Raise, grab, and you're turning and you're using that little bit of lift to get the rifle to go up, down, up, down. When it's up, it's out of your hand. When it comes back down, it's back in your hand with your thumb firmly wrapped around the rifle on the upper handguard. I can't stress that enough. So, as you begin to get comfortable with 1 or 2 spins, we want to start smoothing it out. And when we start to smooth it out, we're going to allow the momentum to kind of do the work that our arm was doing. And we're going to transition the burden of turning the rifle from our forearm and elbow. We're going to kind of move it into our wrist. And that way our wrist is doing the majority of the turning motion that we need. And the center point of the rifle is staying about right here. Now, notice I can look up at the rifle, but if I look straight forward, I can still see it out of my peripheral vision. That's the goal. We don't want it too far back where we have to look at it, and we certainly don't want it too far up where we really have to extend and look up. So the goal is to put it in front of us. It's almost like a little bit of a cheat in that I can see the rifle, I can see the hand, but I can still look straight forward. So that's kind of where the rifle needs to be in relation to the body. Hopefully this is a good start for you. Again, I can't stress it enough. Take it slow, 1 spin at a time. Once you have 1, slowly add 2. Once you have 2, slowly add 3. Don't make a jump from 3 spins to 12 spins. Slowly progress until you know that you're not using a poor technique on those spins. And if you feel that you're losing the spin, at that point, that's the number that you need to stick on and keep working on it until you can feel comfortable at that 4 or 5 spin level before kind of adding again slowly. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below and we will make sure to get those answered for you.